Free Ataka and free keychains.
Free Ataka keychains?
Yeah.
Can I have it?
Sure. So to get this free Ataka, what you have to do is to scan this QR code to download the NHG Health app.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep, so you click that to download.
Done.
Okay, here's your Ataka.
Thank you so much.
No
And
problem.
these keychains look so cute. Can I have one of them too?
Yeah, sure. So to get these keychains, what you have to do is you have to actually use the NHG Tribe, which is a new feature in our NHG Health app. And then once you click in, you can actually enroll for one of these community care programs.
Wow. The
Yeah.
mobility and balance workshops look so interesting. I think I will enroll for this.
Okay. Alright, thanks for enrolling. Now that you have enrolled, you can have this keychain.
Thank you.
Okay.
So what else does Energy Tribe have to offer?
Let me tell you more about it. Welcome to NHG Thrive. So some backstory as to why we do NHG Thrive was because when we conducted our survey with youth participants, over 50% of them shared that they had never heard of community care programs before. And furthermore, 50% of people also rated 1 to 3 out of 5 in terms of their interest to CCPs. And furthermore, those who attended community care programs, 70% of them shared that they seldom, if not never, applied what they learned in the real world context after attending this CCP. So this clearly shows that there's an issue whereby the current community care programs are not engaging youth, and furthermore, youths are unable to apply what they learned from these community care programs in their daily lives. So as a result, we built NHG Thrive to be able to bring youth on a guided journey. And we actually use this framework of discover, learn and apply, lead and grow, and real world impact to guide the way we develop our features in NHG Thrive. Let's dive deeper. Moving on to our first feature, the Discover Community Care Programs. What this does is that we actually build our own custom AI algorithm to personalize community care programs such that it will actually use the various users, for example, which community care programs are he interested in, as well as maybe we noticed that he attended a lot of fitness programs. However, he's lacking a little bit in caregiving aspects. Then we will then try to recommend some caregiving programs to hopefully interest these youths. Now, when they enroll, they can even invite their friends to go along together with them and gain experience points by doing so. Moving on to our next feature whereby we redefine how community care programs are like. Currently, through our survey with youth, 33% of them shared that they would like to explore hybrid or even fully online community care programs due to their busy schedules as a student. So looking at our Discover CCP, we can see our physical events that we are used to, as well as the virtual community care programs and youth-led CCPs, whereby we will dive deeper in a later part of this video. Under the virtual CCP, you can see CareQuest, as well as Push-Up AI Trainer. So now let's go ahead and enroll for CareQuest. Now, under our My Program section, you can actually see this CCP that we enrolled for. And when we scroll down, we can then click Launch Program. Introducing CareQuest. So what CareQuest is actually a 3D interactive website that my friends and I have built. And what it does is that it actually allows youth to view community care programs in a different way. So as you can see, when we walk over to this grandmother over here, there's actually the Caregiving Knowledge Center. And what this does is that it actually teaches youth more about caregiving in an interactive manner. And then this covers various topics such as medications, nutrition, physical fitness, safety, home, personal hygiene, and mental and cognitive health. Let's take a look at medicine management. So what CareQuest does is that it first teaches you more about medicine management. So now we learn that proper medication management is crucial for elderly care. So after learning it, we can now practice what we have learned. And in this test, it actually recognizes appropriate medication actions, prioritization of safety steps, and apply basic medication safety judgment to common scenarios. So what we can do is we can match actions such as forgot morning dose, yes. And then in what scenarios we need to update medicine list immediately when a new prescription is added, dispose properly and get refilled when the medication is expired, and lastly, ask a pharmacist about alternatives when patients have difficulty swallowing. Nice. Now that I completed this, when I go back, I can see that my medicine management is now completed. So with this CareQuest, it actually allows you to really learn more about caregiving in a more engaging way so that we can redefine how community care programs is like outside of just the classrooms. Moving on to our next virtual community care program, the Push-Up AI Trainer. So let's go ahead and enroll for this. And once we click View More, we can learn more about this and launch program. Introducing our Push-Up AI Trainer. As our target audience are youth aged 18 to 35, one thing our male participants always share with us is that whenever they do their IPPT, especially in their push-up station, they always hear this phrase, please straighten their back. And we realize that the reason this happens is because when they're training their push-ups at home, they do not know how to correct their form. So that's why we decided to build this push-up AI trainer. Let me show you how it works. So whenever your back is straightened, the push-up AI trainer will show a green bar, and when it's not, it will show a red bar saying that your form is incorrect. Now, let's start our push-up session.
Fix your posture. 1, 2, 3. Workout stopped.
So now that
Fix
I
your
completed my
posture.
workout, we can take a look at this. So this is our AI coach feedback. What we did was we actually sent our push-up session details to OpenAI, and then OpenAI will then process and give you some feedback on how to maintain or improve your push-up form. Furthermore, it also gives you a detailed breakdown on how your form was for each rep. And now, you can even go to statistics to see how our push-up sessions fared from our very first push-up session with the push-up AI trainer all the way to the current state, as well as our form accuracy over time, every session duration, and weekly performance. So this is how we can ensure that NHG's virtual community care programs are now engaging and furthermore able to provide real-world impact to our users from age 18 to 35. Introducing the NHG Thrive Garden. For this feature, what we did was we looked at the many different community care programs set by NHG, and we mapped it into 4 key domains, being the fitness, healthy diet, healthcare planning, and caregiving. Then we introduced levels, so whenever you participate in community care programs, such as this fitness program, you get XP, which translate into levels in your fitness domain. Then this will be officially recognized by NHG. Furthermore, we visualized it in an engaging way, such as this garden. So you can see based off how well grown your garden is, it translates into the levels of your domains. You can even water them to boost your garden. And now, to encourage real-world application of CCP learnings, we introduce garden pets. So for example, to get this cat, you will have to cycle 10 km. So now, to do so, you can connect to apps like Strava or Apple Fitness. And once you connect to it and cycle 10 km, you finally get your pet in your garden. As youths get more engaged in NHG Thrive, now we'd like to allow them to transition to start leading and growing as individuals. So what we did in Social Hub was we created a friend list to allow them to water the garden of their friends. On top of that, they can even send messages to nudge their friends to, hey, let's start going for CCP events together. And on top of that, you can also go to the Find My Buddy, which uses our custom AI buddy matcher to recommend you friends who are of the same mastery level and have the same common interest. And when you add them as friend, if they do accept, you can then start going for CCPs together with your new friend. Lastly, we also have this leaderboard feature to inspire healthy competition amongst the friend list. So you can see now, I'm currently 4th place and I'm striving to be first. So I will then start attending more NHG community care programs. Beyond social participation, we also offer structured pathways to allow youth to transition into leadership growth. What we did in NHG Thrive was we actually have this section called opportunities, whereby we offer internship, volunteering, and even a chance to be an NHG youth ambassador. However, these key opportunities are gated by required learning modules because we want to ensure that youths who have access to these opportunities are of certain standards. So under these required learning modules, you can see there's a financial literacy module where you can watch this video.
Financial education is the that is wrong.
And once you have watched this video, you learn things about CPF contribution, 50-30-20 rule, emergency fund priority, as well as many other financial literacy concepts. And once you have completed, you can see your overall progress starts to transition from 1 to 1 out of 5. And next, you can even learn about workplace safety. So these are things like your hand hygiene, your PPE bonding, patient and safety. So once you progress this topic, you continue watching other learning modules like professional communication. And this will teach you things like critical listening, cultural communication, and sensitivity. And once you complete this, you move on to the next key module, which is time management, which is extremely important in rural context. And lastly, we have cultural sensitivity and diversity, whereby we cover Singapore's multicultural landscape, religious practices in healthcare, recognizing unconscious bias. After completing all the learning modules, now the youth can finally unlock healthcare opportunities and can become NHG youth ambassadors or gain work experiences. Selecting the NHG youth ambassador allows youth to become ambassadors whereby they can co-create youth-led community care programs. In return, they can get 300 XP, build a community, leadership badge, as well as to boost their portfolio. And the best part is that with NHG Thrive, it now allows youth to allow them to build a youth-led CCP event on a very simple to use platform called the Co-Creation Studio. Now that we're in the Co-Creation Studio, there's actually a simple 5-step process to allow us to create our events. Let's start by maybe inviting our friends to collaborate with us on this event. So we can first choose, do we want a virtual or physical CCP? So in this case, I'll choose physical. Maybe I'm actually interested in conducting youth-led high interval intensive program. So that's like fitness, learn about to allow participants to learn how to perform effective HIIT exercises and learn how to youth. So now we've entered the justification of why we want to organize this event. Move on. We've now specified the timeline. So let's start with some 45 minutes remaining. So let's add in maybe one more empathy building activity. And lastly, let's end it off with healthcare Q&A. Great. Now moving on to the next stage, logistics. We can specify the amount of members, let's say 130, and number of youth ambassadors. Since it's me and 3 other friends, there will be 4 youth ambassadors going on. And my policy will be such that for every 25 youth attendees, 1 staff must be physically present to monitor the event. So in this case, maybe we need some exercise mats. Then now you can enter the link on where this can be procured from, the price per item, as well as the justification for this material. And lastly is the venue. Let's choose active SG spaces. And the reason why we have to specify, maybe it's because of the open space that we have. Let's proceed to review. The final review summarizes our proposal that we just created. And furthermore, our custom budget analysis powered by our own AI algorithm summarizes the total estimated cost per participant, and adds a 10% contingency on top of the material budget. Then it flags the budget with $100 to $250 being acceptable, $250 to $500 being borderline acceptable, and anything above that being unacceptable. And what this does is that it actually helps to provide transparency of financial aspects to both the planners, the NHG youth ambassadors, as well as NHG when they are reviewing this proposal. Then now we can submit this proposal to NHG to review. And once they are happy with this proposal, they will approve it, and it will then appear under the youth-led community care programs, and now we can enroll for our own community care program. In the final phase, NHG Thrive now connects growth to tangible real-world outcome via the work experience pathway. So in this pathway, what the youths are allowed to do is that they're actually exposed to volunteering opportunities and internship opportunities, such as this elderly care companion. And under internship, they can see things like healthcare operations intern and even digital health innovation intern. Now, let's go ahead and apply for this role. So under this intern, you can see the duration of this internship, 6 months internship, as well as the location, some description and requirements. Then once we click apply, we can then submit our resume. And furthermore, our NHG mastery progress, such as the fitness, healthy diet, healthcare planning, and caregiving levels, will also be submitted to the hiring manager for their review. Now, let's confirm this submission, and then we can proceed with our AI video interview. Let's enable our camera and start. Hi, I'm currently a third year information technology polytechnic student who believes in using technology for public good, particularly in healthcare. I'm applying for this role because NHG's focus on digital health innovation aligns with my interest in building meaningful user-centered healthcare solutions. I'm currently learning as a software engineer at DSTA, working on secure mission-critical public sector systems. So now that my AI interview is done, we actually use a custom speech-to-text model to transcribe the user's data, and then this is sent to OpenAI to process, and then it generates a AI interview analysis with our overall score, communication skills, enthusiasm and motivation, relevant experience, and finally, an overall assessment whether they would recommend or not recommend this individual for this role. So this AI analysis is then sent to the hiring manager, and with that, we have completed our first round of interviews. So now, the hiring manager acts as a human in the loop to process whether the individual is suited for this role. And this will usually take 1 to 2 weeks. And now that this is done, we are thankful to be accepted for the Digital Healthcare Innovation Intern at NHG Group. Finally, everything the youth has done in NHG Thrive is now accumulated into a shareable portfolio where they can see the total levels, events attended, missions completed, and total XP gained, as well as your overall impact like your lives touched, volunteering hours, and certificates and recognition too. such as this co-creator certificate, which you can actually share to your LinkedIn. So once you click here, and now you can add this co-creator certificate to your LinkedIn. And now you can see it under your licenses and certifications in your LinkedIn. Lastly, users can even download their portfolio, and they can even share their account with other users. And now users don't just leave NHG Thrive with just participation memories, but also with recognizable evidence of growth, leadership, and real community contribution, closing the loop from discovering community care programs to creating real-world impact. Now, if users encounter any type of difficulties while using NHG Thrive, we actually created this self-help hub that allows you to view frequently asked questions, as well as contact NHG Thrive admins. And furthermore, if they encounter any bugs, they can also share this bug with NHG Thrive. Aside from empowering users, we would also like to empower the admins of NHG Thrive. So we created this admin dashboard to see the overview of NHG Thrive, as well as some analytics, attendance rate, age distribution, participation trends, and engagement metrics. Furthermore, there's also recent activities. And then they can go to youth-led CCPs, where they can view the applications of youth-led community care programs and approve it if they deem fit, or they can reject it if it's not ready. Then they can also see the community impact growth of how many lives have been touched, and the community care category distribution, program quality metrics, and youth engagement growth. Lastly, they can also see the applications of the volunteering and internship opportunities, and they can also see some metrics on the opportunities impact and talent development. And with that, we have came to the end of our explainer video for the NHG Thrive solution. Thank you.